Your Majesties, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for always returning. Trust you and yours are well and you're loving yourself and others like always. Many thanks to all of you for the support you give to the channel. Thank you so much to our channel members, to our anonymous supporters, to all of you, my esteemed subscribers. You all have celebrated and appreciated. I came across a question and I want to put that to you so that you leave your thoughts at the section. And the question is, how can slave and masters pray to same God? What do you think, Majesties? I want you to leave your comments and thought there at the section. How can slaves and masters pray to same God? That is to say, same God created slaves, created masters, and he now happened to love the masters more and make them masters, and love the slaves less and make them slaves. When you are a creator, you create things, alright? You're a mother, you birth beings, and you now decide and differentiate between your children. This group are the ones I love from my heart, and they're going to be the masters. These groups are the ones I do not love at all. They'll be the ones that will serve the masters. Now, in a system, there will always be those who are up there and those who are a bit lower. All right? It's normal. We cannot be the same. We cannot be the same in a society. And that's not what I'm talking about. I believe you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about slaves. People sold, used, molested, used as instruments, used as things, treated as not humans. This is exactly what I am talking about. So, how can the same God create the master and create the slaves? In another word, how can slaves and masters pray to same God? So what do you think the slaves will be asking the God? And what do you think the masters will be asking the God? That this God should never make them poor. This God should never make them become like the slaves that are serving them. And then the slaves, in the other hand, will be praying for the day that they'll be liberated and become like their masters. And their masters are never praying. They are hoping that they keep living in that position. So what kind of confusion is this? And this is the situation of Africans and the Europeans. They look at us as slaves. They look at us as people that know what to do. We are not up to that level. But when it comes to praying, when it comes to communing with the divinity, they tell you have to commune in the way that they do communicate. You have to worship the God that they worship. That is the only place that you can be equal with them. You worship the God they worship. But in other aspects, you cannot even try to be close. You can't just try to be. Do we sit and think about this? When I heard this, this was the statement that attracted me, Your Majesties. And I'm like, my people need to hear this. Oh, these Maobonge religious people, they need to hear this one. They need to hear this one. How can slaves and masters pray to one God? What kind of God is that? Does he really hear prayer? And if he hears prayers, why has he not answered the prayers of the slaves? Oh, because the masters are his favorites? Why should he have favorites if he is the God of both the slaves and the masters? Oh my, so let's listen to this and we'll take it up from there.
We say slave trade, it wasn't a trade, it was a kidnapping, because a trade is when you exchange money and get something. So what we're basically saying is, like, if African people were abducted or kidnapped by the Europeans, by the Greeks,
Red Arabs.
the Red Arabs. How are you going to worship their gods and their religion? It doesn't make sense. Black people hate everything about slavery except for Christianity, which doesn't make any sense, because this was beaten into you, and now your DNA is programmed to the point where you're afraid of the slave master. So we want to connect back to our ancestors, back to Africa, back to what works for us. And everyone else, when they pray to their gods, it works for them, because you look on the planet and who's getting help? And why are you not getting help? Because black people, so-called black people, because we're not even black, because we go back to that state of supreme balancement, which is not a color, it's a dark energy, dark matter. So when we say black, we're not referring to the color, yeah? When you go back to, why don't we get any help? Why are we the ones that are being abused and, have people say we're on the lowest, what would you call it?
On a scale of, of all the races, yeah.
Exactly. So it's not religion and these gods and Allah and whatever we're calling, it's not working for us. And since we've started to reconnect back to our ancestors, we see the changes. We're seeing the changes. So you have to connect back to what vibrates with.
And that's what we keep saying, connecting back to source, connecting back to your origin, connecting back to what vibrates you, your majesties. And that is it. That is it. We hate everything about slavery, except for Christianity. We hate everything about slavery. And who initiated this whole idea of slavery and coming to a power and taking people out, stealing people out, buying people out? The Europeans. And when they came in with something, they said they brought religion, they brought good news. The same people that came with the ship that packed people for slavery. They are the same people. So we hate everything about what they did, except for one. Christianity. Religion. Because we have to say religion because it's not just Christianity, it's both Islam. That's the same way Islam came. So we hate everything about the Islamic civilization, except for Islam. We hate everything about the Arab civilization, except for Islam. So we love the religion so much. We love Islam so much. Oh, it's from God. We hate everything about Europeans coming to enslave Africans, except for Christianity. Also, we love Christianity so much. It's about Jesus, oh God, heaven and hell. Oh my goodness, if you don't go this, you do this, you're going to hell. If you don't do that, you're going to hell. Oh my, oh my. Your Majesties. Sometimes I can't help it. Sometimes I can't help it, but I just laugh over things. When I see the level that we have, the level that we have molded our minds into accepting this whole thing, I don't just get it. A lot of people are still slaves. You think you are free. No. As far as you keep holding on to those teachings, alright? Even the Bible itself, the level at which the Bible glorifies slaves, sometimes you sit and ask yourself. And that is not even the slave Bible yet. Because the slave Bible itself, when you go through it, this is why it seems so difficult for us to return back to what we were. Because there is no desire even to return back to our source. There's no desire even to reconnect to who we are. There is no desire. We are so comfortable with all these external practices, with all the Eurocentric practices we call Christianity. You go to the church, you act like these people, your pastor have to dress like a white man before the preaching can even sink into the heart of people. Just imagine you go to a church and your pastor come in with a chalks on his faces, chalk designed on his face, and he wore an animal skin on his body. and he does not wear any shoe on his legs, and he tie a wrapper of animal skin on his waist, and he comes in with a Bible in his hand, what will you call that your pastor? You will say your pastor have become a native doctor, have become a juju man, the church will scatter. Hey, wonder shall never end though. Pastor have gone to start to do evil. Why? Because you saw your pastor in that attire. And what is wrong with the attire? Because the white man have put it in your head that anything in that form is demonic, is devilish. So the moment you see someone that way, you just conclude that it's the devil. That is it. This I don't know, it has gotten into us. It has no wonder religion is a cancer of the brain. So we think right when it comes to every other thing. Our thinking is straight when it comes to every other thing. We are so smart when it comes to every other thing, but when it comes to religion, we become stupid. We become fools. Because what we are supposed to see, we don't see it again, because now is not religious time. We don't see it again. But we are the ones talking so eloquently just now. We are the ones analyzing so sweet. But immediately it comes to religion, badam, the mumuness start showing. We become fools again. Defending things that ordinarily those who invented it are in their countries, and they hear us do this thing, they laugh at us, they mock us. We cut away from the original thing and hang ourselves to things that are not it. In the name of religion. Oh, why? I felt like sharing this with you. I will still ask the question again. How can slaves and masters pray to same God? Please answer me. Answer me, oh. I need an answer. Alright, love yourself, love others. Stay safe, stay positive, always majesties. Bye for now.